So hey guys, welcome to another Warframe video, and today we're going to take a look at my Valkyr build 2.0. Now, this is pretty much an Eternal War build, but I threw in a couple of mods that I really like and they kind of suit my playstyle, so this build is tailored for me, and that's why it's called my Valkyr build, instead of, an Eternal War Valkyr build or something like that, alright? So this is a 2 Forma build, and what we're going to do with that Forma is add 2 Ds. So the aura I'm using is Steel Charge, no surprise there. This increases your melee damage and it fits the polarity and it gives you a ton of mod capacity. Now, this normally increases your melee damage by 60%. However, if you add Coaction Drift, which is what I'm using in my Exilus slot, it's going to boost Steel Charge, so it's going to increase your melee damage by 78%. And that is huge, so that's why I'm using Coaction Drift in the Exilus slot. Then I'm using Prime Continuity to offset Transient Fortitude and to get some additional power duration. Because without it, Warcry isn't going to last for very long, and it's just going to fall off, which is annoying and defeats the whole point of this build. Then I'm using Vitality, Steel Fiber, and Armored Agility for tons of health and tons of armor with a little bit of movement speed, okay? Sprint speed is always good on melee builds. Then of course I'm using Eternal War, which makes Warcry pretty much infinite as long as you're killing enemies in melee. Streamline is here so I can get into a mission and cast Warcry right away. I don't have to run around, worry about energy or pick up energy orbs. I just get in, pop Warcry and go ham. And finally, I'm using Intensify and Transient Fortitude to get more armor when I cast Warcry and to also get more melee attack speed when I cast Warcry. And I don't really care about the whole enemies will get slowed when they get near you component of power strength with Warcry, because they're just gonna die anyway in a couple of swings. Now, thanks to Eternal War and the power duration we have on this build, Warcry is going to hover somewhere between 10 and 20 seconds at all times based on how many enemies you are killing at any given moment. Sometimes it will go above 20 if you get a huge group of enemies and you AoE them down, and sometimes it will dip below 10 if you get unlucky with the spawns. But if you are not a derp, you should be able to keep Warcry up at all times. And this is not just some random number that simply happened to be there after I finished the build. This was a very deliberate choice because of Body Count, which is a melee mod that I run on pretty much all melee weapons nowadays. Body Count increases your combo timer by 12 seconds, which means your combo timer will be at 15 seconds with it, which is pretty similar to the time you'll have left on Warcry if you're killing enemies. So I don't really think you need more than that, because I feel it's kind of pointless, because you don't really want your combo timer to drop, so you will just keep killing dudes, and that will keep your Warcry and your combo timer rolling throughout pretty much the entire mission. So that's why I chose this particular amount of duration. I got carried away a little bit, didn't I? Yes, I did. So let's move on. Hysteria, as I've said already, I don't use it too much. I only use it when I don't have life strike, so I jump in, punch a couple of dudes, get my health back, and jump out. And sometimes when I'm playing a sortie, I will revive a teammate while in Hysteria because it's much safer. But most of the time I will just run around with Warcry and hit things with a big hammer. And I guess I do use Riptide every now and then when I'm running nightmare bosses. But that's pretty much it. Now, the reason why this video even exists is this comment right here by Mr. Alberto Ferragutti, who wrote, "Please can you make a video on the Valkyr build you use in all the melee videos like this?" Because earlier today, even in the very video this comment was posted on, my Valkyr had 0 Forma, it didn't have an Exilus slot, and it was just a mess of a build that didn't really do anything. And when I read this comment, I was like, yeah, a lot of people asked about my Valkyr build, and I really should do something about it. So I slapped 2 Forma onto Valkyr, put the Exilus adapter on, I played with it for a couple of hours, I added mods, I removed mods, and the final product is this build right here. So thank you very much, Mr. Alberto Ferragutti, for finally making me get off my ass and make a Valkyr build that I'm really happy with. Alright? And that's pretty much it for the video. So I thank you very much for watching, as always, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.